Hey guys, and welcome to my next reaction to Torchwood. So this season so far has been so good in my opinion. I just think it's been absolutely amazing. And even, you know, I would probably say the last episode was probably my least favorite of the season so far, but it still was like pretty good. I still enjoyed watching it and everything, but I think that's a big credit to, I mean, obviously the writing and everything, but it's also just a credit to the characters and the actors. I've always kind of felt like if you really love the characters of a specific show, then it just, everything kind of, you care about their journey, you care about what they're going through, and it just makes everything better and better. So I'm very excited to get into the next episode. Let's get into it. Okay. I thought that something terrible was gonna happen to him.
No. But also the attitude. You've got a face like a slapped ass.
I'm waiting for you to tell me where you were.
Where was when?
At the wedding. Does that mean you're a lovely friend instead?
I can bloody tap. I gotta switch it on.
But this was like, what, 3 years ago? I mean, look, I didn't know. I didn't realise you still had feelings.
You, I don't. Alright? I just had a moment. Fuck to yourself.
Okay. What just happened?
Exactly. Minutes later. What's your mate Melda doing there? Want me to look into it for you?
No, it's fine. So it's just a coincidence then?
I guess so. Gotta run. Weevil hunting with Yanto.
Oh, what a fun date.
What is it, not major enough for you? Not spooky enough?
Ooh, damn.
It's all crowd footage ever since he went. Maybe I was too nosy. Or not interested enough. Maybe you felt unloved. I'm sorry, I know I'm late.
3 hours?
It was a work thing. Time just got away from me. Ooh, wine. We can do it another time, though, yeah?
You said you'd cook.
Did I? What did we do
Oh
about
God,
this?
at least act like...
Come on, now it's good. I'm ready. Babies, now. What if the rift doesn't just leave stuff behind? What if it also takes?
Oh, is it just gonna be her?
It's gonna just be me, isn't it? Come on, surely
It's okay.
Come.
Oh, my heart.
Just us, isn't it? Is this missing persons?
Yeah. Yeah, come in. Do you want a drink?
Oh, I'm gonna cry. I think that what that says to you guys is that there's a lot of missing people. And, I mean, I think that's terribly shocking, but oh, Lord. Wow. She does not have enough chairs.
Bloody hell. How many of them are there?
Wow. Uh-oh. Okay, Gwen, don't go insane. You can't really help too many people if you go, like, lose your shit. Yes, Tosh.
No, really, this many?
But I don't know what you want us to do.
We find a way to prevent it.
If they're victims, we fix their wounds. But this, we don't know when it's going to happen. We don't know where they end up.
We help those left behind. Why not?
Look, Jack's right. They need counselling, support, that is not us.
Oh, okay. Is that what you all think?
Well,
We are the only ones who know the truth.
I think they should try to figure out if there's anything they can do about the rift. I agree with the fact that maybe they're not the best to be counseling people. Also, Jack, I think, is keeping stuff. Something's weird. So.
Thank you. God.
It's not wittering, it's talking.
Torchwood does not do maternity leave. Oh, I'm sorry, Jack. I'd love to help out with the aliens. Well, I'll sort out that bomb once I've dropped Reece Jr. off at nursery. Stop dancing around it. It's a dead quest.
Shit.
You know, sometimes I fucking hate you. And your shit is more important than real life. And we're not gonna last very long either.
Okay.
Sorry.
That was a lot to take in.
This thing at work.
I don't care, I don't care. When you and me, we deal with us, right? Our lives. You got a problem at work, you sort it at work.
I don't think that was necessary. Something weird's gonna happen.
Oh, God! I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't realise.
Doesn't matter.
And I wouldn't have come in if I'd known.
Always room for one more.
Jack,
We can
Jack.
use you and
I'll make it my own special project. My responsibility, nothing to do with anyone else. I'm not letting it go.
No, leave it alone.
I can't.
Jack, I feel like you're gonna have to be honest, whatever it is.
Jack, we're not finished.
Yes, we are.
Ooh!
There's a package on your desk.
No, it's GPS.
What?
Global positioning.
Is Yanto trying to help Sugar Bear?
Hello.
You left me that package, didn't you?
Yanto!
I don't know what you mean.
Yanto, what's going on?
Yanto!
Yanto, don't you...
Yeah, he's trying to be sneaky about it, Gwen. Let him be sneaky.
Have you got any vacancies coming up? You know, with Torchwood. I was thinking, I'd great to work with. You know, you could tip him a wink.
Andy. I like him. Did he kick you out your own room? God. Oh, just when I was starting to get like excited about Gwen and Reese's relationship. Just here we go.
Get us a couple of teas before we go.
You know,
She's gonna go without him. Gwen, don't do it. Gwen, don't do
It's
it.
for me and I'll give you 100 quid.
I feel bad for him.
I'm sorry, Auntie.
He just wants to help.
Sorry.
Jack has to know that she's not gonna give up, right? What is this? Okay.
Sorry, but why are they...
Yeah, I mean,
What are you doing to them? What's going on here? Tell me.
I don't think
I'll take it from here, Helen.
they're not doing anything.
You stay away
Gwen.
from me.
Gwen, let's go outside and talk.
These are the people taken by the rift. What are they doing here? What have you done?
Gwen, listen to
I
me.
don't think he did anything. I'm not ready for this, am I? Oh God.
Am I in the right room?
I'm Jonah. I woke up and the land was on fire. There were flames. A man pulled me from the flames. Took me to a building. I tried to work on the burns. And then I realized it wasn't a building after all. It was a rescue craft. The last of a burning planet.
I am so sorry for what's happened to you. Of course.
I'm not really home.
Yes, you're home.
Oh!
She never stopped looking.
I tried so hard to come home. I was lost so long.
You're safe now.
Can you bring me here?
Is that what you want?
I don't know if that's check with Jack.
How many are there?
17 last count. They're sick in ways you could never imagine. We can't fix them. We just care for them.
We owe her the truth. Jack, if you'd lost someone, wouldn't you want to know?
Oh, he has lost someone. But he doesn't. Oh no.
Let me try. You're not here for small talk. I found Jonah.
Yes?
can't see you.
Mum?
No. No.
It's okay,
Stop.
Mum. It's me, it's okay.
Stay away.
Stop.
That is not my son. Get me out. I want to get out of here. Listen. You are sick. Listen to all of you.
We made it together. But I'm left in, she keeps coming loose. You said you saw it.
No.
Every evening you buy a bottle of beer.
Shut up.
Let me ask you, why you haven't got married? You said I'd never be lonely. Because I always got you. Hey, Mum. It's not me. I've been so lost. I've walked for years trying to get home.
You have to leave Jonah now. What?
Helen, it started again.
What's happening? He's starting the downswing. What's a downswing? Then you should move away. Why? Can you tell me why? I've never heard a sound like it. The scream lasts 20 hours every day.
20 hours?
What he'd seen had driven him mad.
Oh my god. Wow, this is uplifting.
They say you can visit. It was better when I didn't know. Before you,
Okay.
I had hope.
Alright, that makes me feel really bad.
Is it done? You told me everything. From the beginning.
There you go.
Is this woman Nikki? She had a son, Jonah. He went missing 7 months ago.
Okay. Oh, I'm crying. That was a really emotional one, I think. Oh, I have so much to say. Fuck off. Tears. Stop it. What I have to say is, like, sometimes I really like Gwen's heart when it comes to her job. I think professionally I really, really like Gwen. I think personally she maybe makes some mistakes, and I don't know, they all make mistakes and they're kind of, I think that's why I love these characters so much, is that they have faults and everything. But in general, I just think that she is, like, I love her big heart, and I love that. I feel bad for Andy. I was just going to say that. I love her big heart, and that, you know, when Andy was saying, hey, you, like, you used to care about every single soul that, you know, we came across, or whether it was somebody that was missing or somebody that got killed or something or whatever. And that's the thing that I think is, like, a really big asset to her and her character, is her compassion for everybody, you know, that that she comes across, and that she does have a very, very big heart, and she's, I feel like she's a very kind of, and I don't, hopefully you know what I mean when it says that, she's a very, like, bigger picture type of person, in the sense of, like, I think she's willing to sacrifice a lot of her own happiness in order to save other people. And I think that that's obviously what's been such a big hindrance in her relationship. I really liked that last scene between her and Reese before, with everything that was going on in this episode and the fight that they had. And listen, people fight, and a lot of times when people fight, you know, they say things that's just boiling up and they don't really mean a lot of what they say. And a lot of, you know, there's some truth in there, but sometimes the delivery just is really bad, which is why a lot of people can't come to understandings and things like that. You know, I feel like her saying, you know, I'm not going to be able to have a kid, and, you know, Reese kind of really hammering home the idea that, like, if you don't have a, if you don't have a family, if you don't have, you know, what our goals were, I'm assuming what our goals were before Torchwood, before all of this stuff. If you drop all of that, what's the point of doing it? I think what he was trying to kind of say is the fact that, like, you know, you care so much about everybody else and that they have peace of mind. Maybe you should care about your own peace of mind and your own happiness and think about what you want, taking, you know, your job out of the picture in that sense. But I think all of that was just, not pleasant, not the best. However, I really liked the ending of that. The fact that she can be open with Reese is so important, I think, for her mentally, because I think, you know, her holding things in for such a long time is really, really kind of a big hindrance to her, especially from Reese. And I would say out of everybody else in Torchwood, I think a lot of them have heart and or whatever, but they're not the most open in communicating sort of aspect. They're not like, let's all sit around and talk about our feelings. They're just not that type of person. I think Gwen is a bit that type of person. She really needs to get it out. She really needs to talk about her feelings. She really needs to whatever. Other people cope in different ways, and that's, you know, that's, I mean, it's the beauty of humanity. We all are different, and but I think she needs somebody that she can actually really sit down and actually talk with. And, you know, it was funny when she brought up, you know, we should take care of those left behind. And in that case, I think when she was really gung-ho about, like, being like, hey, let's figure out what's going on with the rift, like, what in the world is going on, there's all these missing people, I was all about it. You know, you can't do nothing. Now, obviously, Jack wasn't doing nothing, but, you know, I think he was honestly trying to protect her from really getting too far into this, because I think Jack, one thing that's amazing about Jack, and I think very strong point of Jack, is I think he knows his people very well, and I think he knows for a fact that she would have struggled very a lot with that. So you know, that's just kind of but just a side note on that whole thing. But when she was talking about, we need to take, you know, and Jack's like, we're not a counseling service, or I think Owen said something to that effect. That's true. They are not. And I've talked about it. I don't remember what reaction I talked about it with. I believe it's at the end of season 1, but maybe I'm wrong, that there needs to be a fucking therapist on call for these people and everything that they're going through. I mean, like, just think about, like, what Owen's going through right now, mentally, as well as physically, but mentally. And then things like that with Gwen. And I still 100% think that they need a therapist on call or whatever, but none of them are therapists. They are not qualified to deal with this amount of grief or whatever. You know, so in that case, I definitely 100% understood where Jack was coming from. Like, this is not, that's not our, you know, specialty, so to speak. Now, I mean, the whole story about what happened with him, Jonah. Sometimes I forget names, I'm sorry. Is really, it's really kind of, I mean, every case is different. Like I said, how people handle situations or whatever is all, you know, different. We're all different people. We all cope differently. And I think it's something that a lot of people have a hard time understanding. Just because you cope in a certain way doesn't mean everybody else has to cope in that way. You know what I mean? So what I think is kind of interesting is this was a certain case that she tried to do the right thing. And that's why I was kind of, I mean, absolutely, I feel so bad for the mom, and I'll talk about that in a second. But it was just so heartbreaking to hear her say, like, you know, you, like, kind of blaming Gwen. You know, Gwen was really trying to do the right thing, and I understand that, you know, but I think she was really just, it's a difficult situation. Some people would have actually really liked the closure of it all, okay? This particular woman said that she didn't like that. She preferred when she just had hope. But that doesn't mean that's everybody. Some people really just want to know the honest truth. So, you know, this was a certain specific case, and it was absolutely heartbreaking to watch. But at the same time, you know, that's not necessarily the case for every single person. But what I just said still stands. You know, Gwen, as much as she has a compassionate heart and she always wants to do the right thing, she is not a therapist or a counselor or whatever. And that's the type of person you enlist to maybe deal with that scenario, whether, you know, we can bring in the family, whether the person wants to see their family. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably better to be handled by a professional that actually deals with grief, loss, acceptance, all of that fun stuff, you know? But I think that, you know, I mean, it just broke my heart. It broke my heart that, I mean, it was just it was a beautiful moment when she kind of realized it was her son and everything like that. But I think just everything since then, you know, it was really heartbreaking. And I mean, it's a really hard look at the fact that, like, sometimes really shitty things happen to people for no reason. And that is something that is so hard for people to understand and to comprehend. Why did it happen to him? Why didn't it happen to anybody else? You know what I mean? Like, it's a really, really upsetting situation. And that is kind of one of the very, very difficult things to accept. I really loved this episode. I thought it was a wonderful spotlight on Gwen, and who she, you know, who she really is and what her strengths are. And I hope she doesn't take such a hard hit, you know, obviously, because the one thing I will say is that I think she should have really, before just being like, all right, I have to bring the mom here right now or whatever, I think she really should have talked to Jack about, you know, why are they here? Why don't you contact family members? What is going on? You know, so, because I do not think that Jack is heartless or anything like that. I wholeheartedly think that he's trying to do what's best in this situation. And sometimes that doesn't really always happen, you know, or there's not a good solution, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I think it would have benefited Gwen to just talk to Jack, because I do think, because Gwen's heart is so, she wears it on her sleeve a lot. It's so big. Her sympathy and empathy is really off the charts, that I think she thinks that maybe some other people in the team don't have that, or not as much as she does. And I think, you know, if she could have talked to Jack and said, hey, you know, why is this, you know, why is this the way that it is? And you have to think that Jack put a lot of thought into how everything is happening and how everything is run, that I think, you know, maybe if she just talked to him and tried to understand where he was coming from, not saying, you know, anything like, oh, well, I don't, you just don't have a heart, or something like, I think it was like, I don't remember what episode it was where she was like, oh, you do have a heart. And I was like, really? But, so I think that, maybe that could have helped her kind of understand. But I'm really happy that at the end of the episode, it really was Reese that was there for her. And, you know, that makes me really happy. What a great episode. Man, I mean, this season is just phenomenal. It's just, I feel like episode after episode of just, you know, it's deeper than you know, something that's like the alien of the week or anything like that. It's all about, there's a lot of really important themes that this show is addressing. And I think the loss of a loved one, but not being sure, you know, there's something really tragic about, you know, if you lose somebody, but you don't know what happened to them. And I like that this episode really kind of put a spotlight on that, and you know, is finding out the truth, important? And we all, you know, not knowing can drive you mad, and actually knowing can break your heart. Is there a good solution? So I just really like that we got into all of that. Anyway, this was great. I really loved it. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.